for indirect. However, may I come to you in the blue? Okay, all right. Now, this gentleman has come to you. However, if anybody else in the audience can take it, because I usually am an indirect person. So I'm just going to describe this gentleman a little bit. And he's given me at 2 ages. So he's given me when he was about 20 years old. And he's quite stocky. But at 20 years old, the stockiness was muscly, like he was quite muscly. And then he's going to later date about 40 years old, 40, 45 years old, and on. And he's shown me that the muscle went to a little bit of round belly and a little bit of like, I'm not really pleased with myself. Would you understand who that could be? Okay. No, I don't. Yeah, no. I'll keep going. Okay. It's just like, it's almost like at the 20-year-old, he was full of vim and vigor, and then at 40 plus, he started to deteriorate, like he started not to enjoy life anymore.
Yes, yes.
Okay, may I come to you?
Yes.
And what's your name?
Marie.
Marie, thank you. See, Spirit works in mysterious ways, because tonight I was going to go indirect, okay, but they're telling me something different. So, would you understand this would be a friend of yours?
Husband.
Your husband, okay. But he's coming in like more of a friend for some reason.
Yes, yes, yes.
Did you understand that?
Yeah, we were friends.
Yeah, okay, all right. So he really wanted to tell me that his demise, he don't really know why he started to have his demise. Would you understand that?
Yes.
It's just like, it's almost like he had, you know, something turned off and this mental different image in his mind came through and he became a different person. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll just keep going with him. He's telling me he's not proud of the way he ended up. Would you understand that? Yeah, yeah. He's very, very, he's almost ashamed of the way he ended up. Would you understand that? And so he's come through to ask you for your forgiveness. Would you understand?
Yes.
Okay. The reason I'm asking you if you understand is because we'll go back and get more information if you don't. Okay. So he's telling me that the words that he spoke to you which weren't kind words, he said, there's no way I can take that back. He said, but however, I would like you to understand that I truly am a better person where I am now. And he said, and how had I known how I was here, he said I would have slapped myself. Okay. Yeah, because he said nobody really, I don't know, he said I didn't really listen to anybody, even though people who loved me tried to come up and help me. He said I just pushed them away, and he said the more I pushed them away, the guiltier I felt, and the guiltier I felt, he said, the more I tumbled into that depression, that mental state. Okay? Are you okay with me?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Because, so he had quite an easy time of connecting, but I wouldn't say that he's connected with you very often. Would that? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So because he connected pretty quickly, that means that he was a person that knew everything and didn't like anybody telling him anything. Yeah. So he was kind of, he could be in your face a little bit, and he was always right. Yeah. So he's laughing now because he said, "Oh, I was never right." He said, but he said it's that big thing called ego. He said, I had terrific ego when I was here. And he said, it's ego that let me down. And he said, I'm very sorry to have let people down because of my inflated ego. Okay? All right. He's actually come in pure love to you. He wouldn't have come in unless he had no love for you. He does have love for you, and his love was here, and it continues in the world that he's in now. So people who come through, all spirit who comes through, they come through because they have so much love, and they wouldn't be here. He said even though he was, he's telling me that he was quite a miserable person here when in his later date. He said even though I was like that there, he said the love was still there, and you knew that the love was still there. He said I just didn't let you get into it and bring it out. But he said my love for you is unending and undying and unconditional. May I leave that with you?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Oh man, he's quite emotional. I'm gonna. Yeah, thank you for letting me bring him through. Okay, so I'm gonna ask him to sit. He's sitting behind you, and he's gonna sit there in spirit's love and light. Okay, and then let him go. All right. Okay. Now this is indirect this time. I promise. Okay. All right. This gentleman gave me a shared memory. Was a scene, and this is an elderly gentleman, and he would probably be in his 70s. I want to say 80s, but he's going, well, don't show me up as an 80-year-old. He said so 70s, and he showed me like at a lake or at a gathering with a whole bunch of people, with a lot of friends and family, and it was almost like he was the patriarch of the group, even though he wasn't related to everybody. Everybody looked after him. He was kind of like the one with the money, right? In that respect. May anybody take this gentleman? Okay, you're not sure?
Yeah, you need more detail.
You need more detail. Oh, okay. All right. He's playing bocce balls. He's showing me that he played like it looked like bocce balls that he was playing with some younger people. The reason that he showed me these bocce balls was that with him, he would let the younger people win at anything that he played with them. He would let them win. He didn't have that I have to win and I have to be better than everybody else. So he would let them take the credit for something that he started. He was very kind in that way. Does anybody take this gentleman?
I can take some of it.
You can take some of it? Okay. I'll just keep going, okay? Right. And I want to say, for some reason I want to say bocce balls. I see these different coloured round balls. Would it be bocce balls?
Yes, it is bocce balls.
It is bocce. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thanks for bringing the bocce balls in. Okay. All right. Would this be your grandfather? Okay, because I'm not going to get a relationship here. Okay, I'm just going to keep going with him. And you remember the shared memory, do you?
I was there, but I wasn't.
Yeah, with them. Yeah, okay, all right. I'm just going to keep going with some more information then. Okay, so this gentleman was very generous with people. He was generous with his time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Time,
okay.
yes.
Yeah. And he would, if he organized something,
yes.
you know, he would pay for it too.
Yes.
And he wouldn't expect anybody to contribute to it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. He showed me like a chessboard as well and cards, like
cards.
Cards. Okay. So if he had a really good hand of cards and somebody was new and playing the cards, he would fold his cards and he would let that person win. Would you understand that?
Yes, sort of.
Yeah, okay. So he was very good at teaching. He was like, he would give people examples like that. He would teach them, but he would say, okay, you know, maybe you should do this or maybe you should do that, and he would be encouraging. Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay, all right. Because it's one of our mediums. Oh, can I come to you? Sorry.
What is your name?
What is your name?
Susan.
Okay, Susan, may I come to you?
Sure.
Sorry. This is how we get a little bit into the power when we don't think of what we should do at first, okay? All right, so I'm going to come to you then because you said I could come to you, and I'm just going to give you the message here. Oh, he said he tried to be an umbrella for everybody, for lots of people. And he said sometimes that gets a little bit trying, and then he didn't get time for himself because he was umbrella to other people. And he said, you're being an umbrella to a lot of people around you, and he said you need to pull that umbrella down and you need to have the umbrella for yourself. Okay, all right. So he said, you need to be in your own power for a change. He said, instead of being in our power all the time. So he said, we need you to relax in your own power, okay? And he said, it's good to be in our power. He said, you're so good at what you do. He said, you can just click it on, click it off, click it on, click it off. And he said, that's great. He said, but you need to spend a little bit of time with yourself and one or two of your friends doing something completely different. Would you understand that?
You get that, girlfriend? Okay.
Okay, may I leave that with you?
Thank you.
Okay, all right. I just need a drink here. I'm just going to bring one more person in, and this is definitely indirect as well. Just laughing. I'm sure it is indirect. This person is a little bit of an oddity to me because this person was a little bit of an oddity when he was here. This gentleman is a wiry, very wiry gentleman, and he's showing me a shared memory as well that you would be familiar with this, but not necessarily have seen him. So he's got this big piece of plywood, and he's trying to move this piece of plywood, and he's trying to put it up against something, and then he wants to just hammer it up there. But the thing is that he was a bit of a klutz in this life, so the plywood that he's holding, the wind would come and then he'd be all over the place. If you can imagine someone carrying a piece of plywood and not really being sturdy with it and running around with it all over the place before they get it to the point where they need to get it so they can put it up there. So he told me that he flipped things. It was like he was one of those jack of all trades but master of one. He had great ideas, and the things that he did do, he did eventually follow through with them, but they didn't always work out the way he wanted to. However, he shared his ideas with other people. Did anybody take this gentleman? Okay. I'll go back and get some more information. He was thin, wiry, and he's telling me that he would have passed of heart issues. He's telling me that he did have heart problems, and then it was okay, and then he did pass of a heart attack in the end. I'm not seeing a lot of family around him. He's just showing me what he did, like how he operated, and the fact that, you know, the things he did, they didn't always work out the way that he wanted them to. It's like you have something in your mind. He had in his mind to buy a very nice vehicle, and he explained the vehicle to everybody, but then he only had enough money to buy an old clunker. But that wasn't in his mind. It was something in his mind, and then he wanted to go for it, but it didn't seem to work out the way he wanted. He was quite generous with people, and his generosity was sharing his ideas as well. Anybody take this person? Okay, let's keep going here. I want to say this gentleman would have been of an English background. I would say I'd see him over in a different country, not in Canada, but I probably would say that he would be in Great Britain somewhere. Okay, and wow, I want to put him as being a father. He's giving me that father image. Anybody take this gentleman? Okay, who am I getting close to here? All right. Well, for some reason I want to come to the back here, to this side. Do you understand this gentleman?
Some of the things I think, but not sure.
Okay. What do you understand?
The father part, when you met the father, and they came from England.
Okay, okay. Do you understand that he had projects on the go all the time? Okay. Do you remember him? It was almost like he was building a house, he was building something or renovating something. Do you remember that? Would you understand that? Okay. May I come to you?
Sure.
What's your name?
Dina.
Dina. Okay, Dina. All right. I've given a lot of evidence, so now I'm just going to go to the message, okay? Oh, he said, you know, if you try and you fail, try again. And he would try again and try again. So he said, you have to remember that a lot of people who are very successful people, they might have failed 1, 10, 100 times, but they have that drive to keep going. So he said, I don't ever want you to give up. I want you to keep going. Even if you think it's a failure, he said, it's actually not a failure. He said, I'm being philosophical here, but he said, because that's really not me, but he said, I want to step back and think, what can I get out of this? To step forward again, to try it again. Would you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, may I leave that with you?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much, and I'm going to get Donna to come up now.
Don't get them.